We are Legion.
What is up, comic fam, and welcome to the Legion of Comics. It's Sunday night. That means this is at weeks in the spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics and so much more. And we just had the DC FanDome event last night, so there's tons to talk about this week. But before we do that, check this out. A big shout out to this channel sponsors. We got Big Time Collectibles who sponsor the monthly Legion loot. If you're in the market for some amazing exclusive covers or some high-end ratios or placing your FOC orders, be sure to check out BigTimeCollectibles.com. Also, check out Justin Comics on Instagram for all your comic cleaning and pressing needs. He starts cleaning and pressing services as low as $10 per book. He's got some of the fastest turnaround times you'll find, and he can also submit to CGC and CBCS for you. Be sure to use code WeAreLegion to get that extra third book for free. All right, let's get right into it, guys. I'm joined by a whole different panel tonight. Chris is still being severely hindered by sports ball, and Ryan is getting the opportunity to hang out with some of his friends there locally in Texas that he hasn't been able to see for a long time. So definitely excited for them to be getting to do those things other than Chris. I hope his team loses as always. But I don't mean that, Justin, because I know that you're a Bills fan as well. So I'm assuming they're not playing tonight, though, right?
Tomorrow, Monday night. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know what team Chris is rooting for right now. It's not the Bills, though.
Yeah, I wonder who he is watching. I think
I'm
the
not
only
sure.
game is the Sunday night.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all, to be honest with you. I don't even know if he's watching sports ball. I can just assume that because just like with you, when you're on the channel with us hanging out, you do let us know way in advance that when sports hits, your schedule hits a little different, because I believe you told me that you that's actually quality time you spent with your dad. Y'all watched the games together or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've watched every, besides one game. I had to go to a wedding, but other than that, yeah, we've watched every one.
Yeah, so I definitely don't hate on people for stuff like that at all. Like for me and my dad, it's just different activity. But when I get to hang out with him, which is pretty often, still fun. I mean, sports people would probably be like, "You're not watching the game because you're diving in long boxes with your dad."
Right.
What's a long box, you know?
Very true.
But I do want to say hey to the chat real quick. We have a new member right out the gate. We have James Diablo the King. I appreciate you joining the Legion. Thank you so much. I reached out to him already. I've got him added to all the proper stuff, and I've got his new member packet all set up, and I'll be sending it out to you Tuesday. Morris Comics in the chat. Hello, Stephen C. And we have Flo in the chat. Good to see you as always. I appreciate it, Flo. He hopped on for the Fandom event with me. That was awesome. Ignacio, what is going on?
Daddy.
Always good to see Ignacio. Paul Rogers. Hello, Weekenders. We got Pocan Joe, a.k.a. Evil Lair Project and Builds.
Oh, he changed his name.
No, that's his second YouTube account. He's got two separate YouTube accounts. This one he uses only for the I don't know what you'd call it, handyman projects he does, you know, which those projects are also on the Pocan Joe channel, but he also has the comic stuff there. So be sure to subscribe to Evil Lair Projects and Builds. He definitely can use the subscriber push. I'm just kidding. That channel is already over 1,000 subscribers and rocking and rolling. J Pop, appreciate you being here. What's going on? So that's it for the people in the chat so far. But real quick, I do want to give a big thank you to Lee over at Whack Comics for joining me tonight. We were talking beforehand, and he said he could hop on and help out. And Justin, I'm super excited that you're here. I'm always excited when you're able to make it.
Love that new intro, man.
I appreciate it. That was made by Eman from the C-List Villains podcast. And if you're interested in getting any kind of intro work or cutscene work or anything done, his link is in the description of all my videos. He is credited for it, and the way to get a hold of him is down there. Like for a specific flat rate, he'll work with you indefinitely till whatever it is y'all are working on gets completely finished up to your standards.
Awesome.
So for all the people that are in the chat, if you're a channel member, I'll be dropping the link to hop on here in just a little bit. We're going to review a few comic books and all that good stuff. And then we're going to open up tonight's show to all the channel members if they want to come on and talk about DC FanDome. Because there's so many huge things that they announced, so many not so huge things. There's a ton of information that came out of it. And it's just always easier to communicate directly with people if they want to. You're still welcome to hang out in the chat and communicate that way, but if you want to hop on, you'll be more than welcome to. So there's that. We just got a $4.99 super chat from Flo Dameron. I appreciate that. I need another DC rant like the one from last night on Hoarder's Hide stream. Yeah, Austin LeMay was intentionally trying to fire me up, and he told me, he's like, I'm gonna light the fire under you real quick. He was asking some questions about some old DC lore and kind of the Marvel DC competition and race that they have, where they're always trying to one up each other and rip each other off. But yeah, be sure to subscribe to these people down here. Whack Comics, definitely subscribe to them, as well as Justin Comics, who's up here with me. And if you like video games, be sure to subscribe to Whack Games, because Lee and Tyler have a whole second YouTube channel where Lee pretty much tortures Tyler while he plays video games.
Yeah, we're looking for people to come play games with us too. So if anyone wants to come play a game.
How would that work? What would that look like? How would someone play a game with y'all? So I have no clue how y'all do that, where both of y'all are on the screen and you're watching y'all play a game. I don't know how any of that editing works.
We just do it on StreamYard, and I edit it. So, like, you know, it's like usually our heads are over here, and I just move our heads to down there, you know.
That sounds complicated. It really does. Like, I have a video that drops tomorrow. It's
actually really, really easy.
Well, I'm going to have to talk to you about that off stream one night, because I'm just trying to figure out some more editing tips and tricks and stuff, because it would be cool to be able to do like some like initial reaction videos and stuff and whatnot, or to be able to like after the fact be able to put them together or something, you know what I mean?
I just use OBS.
See, that's something I haven't tried. I know a few people like Chip Getler uses OBS, as well as Eman uses OBS. It just seemed like, I look at that and I thought that was like the next step up. Like once you get used to editing, you go to OBS or something. But
no, that's every video that I've ever made is through OBS.
See, I was wondering how you structured yours too, because you would have like the information stuff on the side. I'm like, how do the people do this stuff? Like, I don't even know what to download to look at it.
You can completely control your screen, like 100%. Like you can put, and it's really easy.
Yeah. See, there's the white shadow now. Evening, everyone. Hope you all had a great weekend. I had a fantastic weekend. It was DC FanDome weekend. But before we get into that, real quick, I'm going to go through the books that I pulled this week. I'm not going to break down and review all of these by any stretch of the imagination, but I read The Sumerian from last week. It was issue 1 of the next story that they're doing, Beyond the Black River. That was actually a good start. Power Rangers number 12, I think that came out this week. Yeah, because there's 11. Batman and the Imposter was really good. That was high up on my my favorites. Yeah,
love the artwork on that.
I got a back issue of Unborn number 1 that I missed out on from Source Point Press. Strange Adventures wrapped up pretty well. Superman and the Authority wrapped up. It was not necessary, but it's nice addition to what's going on in Action Comics. If you read it, you know, just a little extra information. And then Justice League Last Ride number 6 came out, which was epic. And it was also my cover of the week for that cover B. That was just one of the most wicked dark side covers I had ever seen.
That looks that looks
texture on it is insane. But my number 1 book for the week, after having read them, is definitely Immortal Hulk number 50. They wrapped up the Al Ewing and Joe Bennett run, and they did it in just a glorious fashion. They went big. They didn't go home. They closed up all the plot threads that were going on, added so much to the mythos of the Hulk. It was a true finale in every sense of the word. Lee, what are some of the books that you were able to get your hands on this week?
I got Maze Book number 2. I love Maze Book. Jeff Lemire is really good. The first issue was like just really sad, and I loved the first issue. It was just really sad. The second issue feels like it's starting to push the story in a direction while still staying sad, but we're getting more story. Unbelievable Unteens. This is a Black Hammer miniseries, but you really don't have to read any of Black Hammer to enjoy this. This is probably one of the best Black Hammer spin-offs yet. It's about this girl who's a comic book writer, an artist, and she's been writing this comic book about the unbelievable Unteens, and she finds out that at the end of the first issue that this team that she's been writing about is this team that she was on when she was a teenager, but she can't remember any of it because like her memories got fucked with and shit. So yeah, it's just really, really, really cool. So she's trying to find all of her teammates and find out what happened, why none of them can remember anything. And I got caught up on Moon Knight. I got the reprints because they were all sold out. I got 1, 2, and 3. I really, really enjoy Moon Knight.
I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about that.
Yeah, it's been great.
Who's writing it?
Who's writing it? Let me see.
Justin's sitting there with first.
Jed McKay.
I saw what book that was.
Yeah, this was my 5.5 that I cracked, and I'm gonna resubmit it after I press it once more. This thing was dirty, man. It was bad.
You said Jeff McKay is writing it?
Jed McKay. I don't know.
Jed McKay, okay.
Not too familiar with his work, but yeah, this has been good. Just up to the beginning of it, see where it goes. I really enjoy Moon Knight as a character, though, so I'm glad I was able to jump back on it. Berserker was just okay. I don't really have much to say about it. Vinyl number 3. I really enjoyed Vinyl. Fucking, it's like just a good time. Serial killers and stuff. But Stillwater. Are you still reading Stillwater?
I haven't read any of those, to be honest with you. Is that who's writing that one? That's not the Donny Cates book, is it?
Chip Zdarsky.
Chip Zdarsky, okay, yeah. I have not been reading that.
I love it. I reckon it's been great. We're into a completely different arc now, and the town's really changing. Yeah. Fucking crossover issue 8 was the last one, and this one was alright. It's sort of like there's a catch up on everything that's happened previously. Sort of
I really enjoyed that one. Like I thought overall the first 6 were kind of lackluster. I thought issue 1, 2, and 6 were good, and I loved issue 7. That single
issue 7 was the best. Yeah.
So like I think having a little break helped out with that series a lot because now like we came back to it, we kind of know what to expect from the book itself, and we kind of more familiar with the characters as well.
It's like previously on crossover, and then there's just like everything.
Oh yeah, every single issue. Yeah, as soon as I opened it, I died laughing. Like I got to give Donny Cates credit for that. That was a slick move. That was awesome.
That made me laugh.
He was a cool guy to meet. I got to meet him in Houston.
Oh, cool.
Oh, were you at one of the cons here recently?
Yeah, the one in July. There was a very small one this weekend, in downtown Houston. And I didn't even know. I was very disappointed. I was like, "Why, advertise this?" But
did you get any stuff signed from him or anything? Yeah, you did. I think you did, didn't you?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. But I got it's on my Instagram. It's that Thor number 1. I think the 1 in 25.
Yeah, I remembered you sharing that. Yeah. I did also see where Donny Cates was at a con here recently, and he bought what he thought was the original art for the cover of.
Was it not?
It was not, and he had to go back to the facilitator because it was just communication on his end breakdown. Because what it was is where the artist redrew the cover in full color and everything. You know, it was a redrawing of the cover, not the original cover. And he thought he bought the original cover, so he went and returned it.
Yeah, I
And then he took that post down off of his Instagram account.
Yeah, I would too. So my book's still not. It's still received. It's been 3 months, and it's sitting there.
The signed one.
Yeah.
Did you fast track it or anything?
No, I didn't. I'm sure that I overlooked that, but I should have. I did the custom label, and I'm praying for a 9.8. If it's anything else, I'm going to sell it. I know. I'm so tired of 9.6s.
Yeah, Mars said there was a con in downtown Houston today.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know.
Yeah, going to do my first CBCS submission next week. Several first appearances. Yeah, I highly recommend CBCS. I mean, I recommend both companies. It just really depends on the individual that's submitting the books, what you expect, or if you're okay with the wait time, there's nothing wrong at all with CGC. Every company makes errors. CGC tends to make more noticeable ones. They deal with more books than the other companies, but I don't know how much people succeed with their customer service department either. I mean, you see a lot of nightmare stories from them, but then you also see some people that have problems that are able to work it out. So it's weird. I use both companies. I've got books at CBCS right now. I've got books that I prefer at one company versus the other for different reasons, and sometimes they don't even make sense of reasons. It's just, I'd rather have this one on that one.
Yeah.
Vinyl is great, J Pop says. I haven't been reading that. What's the deal with Vinyl? What's up with it?
So it's about this guy. He's a serial killer, and he's an old guy, and he's got like Alzheimer's and stuff, and he listens to music all the time to help keep his memory. Like if he stops listening to music, he just sort of like spaces out and has no idea where he is or where anything is.
That's awesome.
But he's sort of putting together like a Ocean 11 style team of murderers, and is working for like a government type thing as well. So it's pretty good. I really enjoy it. The old guy is pretty interesting.
They announce how long that's going to be, because they're only a few issues in, aren't they? 2 or 3 issues in.
Yeah, it's. I just got the 3rd issue. I know that 3rd issue would have come out a little while ago for you guys. It only really come out in Australia. Well, only for me, my LCS, like last week. But
Justin,
it's only pretty sure it's only a mini series, so it's not too many issues. You probably wait till it's all done or jump in now or whatever.
Yeah. What did you pick up this week, Justin?
I think the same stuff as you besides the Hulk, but this is I'll do my submission too. So I got an older Flash one, and I felt like this one would go well because of that. I have number 2 of the Flash, and it has the Pied Piper on there. Mm-hmm. So that would be a nice little combo. And there's only one issue with it, which is that little pin mark at the bottom.
What issue number is that one?
138. Yeah. So it's not that bad. And then I'm going to do Eve number 1.
Nice.
That should be a solid 9.8. That's my journey book, and Kraken press and resubmit.
Yeah, so that was the one that your dad got for you, right?
Number 2?
Oh, you have 2 of those?
Yeah. Well, no, you're thinking of Flash 106.
106, okay.
Yeah. That one was a gift. I actually didn't get that much this week. I think this was all this week. Batman, Joker, and the Imposter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Joker actually surprised me because the series kind of is that first story arc was pretty decent, and I've got that from this week too. I don't know where it is, but it's somewhere in the house. But this issue was pretty wicked.
I'm gonna get Jimenez on the channel. He's liking like almost every post on Instagram, so I'm feeling it.
Oh, nice! If you just reach out and ask, I wouldn't wait.
Yeah, no, I've asked a lot.
That would be awesome.
A little bit nicer book. This is number 3 or 4, I think. 108. So, yeah, this one's nice. I got this at a con in July, and only paid like $250 for it, which was pretty nice. Yeah.
Those are big boy books. Those early Flashes.
And then I got two cracks.
Oh, nice.
Were those submitted to you, or are those previously yours?
This one is client, and then this one's my own.
And that Vengeance, that's the first American Chavez, right?
Yes, it is.
Batman's first Court of Owls, first talent,
Yep.
I think.
Yeah. It's not bad. 8.5. I'm guessing after resubmit, of course I'll put my hands on it. 9.2, 9.4. So
That book, I think, is going to see
Yeah.
kind of a big increase here in the very near future.
wish I had the white sketch variant.
Yeah, there's already people talking about Easter eggs in the Batman trailer from yesterday that have Court of Owl stuff in the Easter eggs. And yeah, they're showing us Catwoman and Penguin already and the Riddler already, but who's he supposed to be punching in the finale? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
who's he going to be actually fighting him?
That's going to be a great movie.
Yeah.
I got the unwrapped edition of that Batman.
Oh, really?
Court of Owls.
Nice.
And just the pencils, for the first.
Yeah.
I think 12 issues or something. And it's so beautiful. I spend so long just staring at each page, and Craig could pull those pencils. It's just something else.
Yeah, they're pretty phenomenal. So I know you didn't read this, Lee, but Justin, what did you think? Because this was up there on definitely close to my read of the week.
I loved it. I think it's like nothing else we've been reading.
Mm-hmm.
Artwork is definitely nothing we've been seeing or used to for Batman. And I see a lot of Robert Pattinson.
I mentioned that before. There's a couple of those shots that look like it came right out of the trailer, like when Bruce is sitting there talking to the psychiatrist and he has his cowl off, but he still has the smoky eyes.
Right.
He's just kind of sitting there brooding. We saw that same image of Robert Pattinson in that trailer, even. Like that was smart on their part to do that.
I can't wait for that movie. I think we're gonna see a lot of like Punisher and like Daredevil Netflix type scenes where it's just, camera on the back. Just really like first and third person type of stuff, especially in the jail or wherever that was, like a warehouse or something.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited for that. Do you know how many issues this is going to be?
3. This is a 3-issue miniseries. Okay. So what was really cool, like I said, it's really nothing they've really been doing. So this is kind of taking place, what they say, like in Batman's 3rd year wearing the cape and cowl.
Yes.
And they're taking a different viewpoint. They're like, we know how he affects like these supervillains he has. We know what he's doing with the street thugs, but how are those actions affecting the 1%ers of Gotham? Like, what does it look like for them? And it's actually, even though they appreciate the streets getting cleaned up, it's having a negative impact on their businesses and on their bottom line. So it's them hiring or reaching out to the police, asking very passive aggressively for them to do something sooner than later about Batman. It's the police kind of investigating it from a different perspective, where it was cool because the things that the cop had discovered were, we have 13 motorcycles that are hidden around the city, all with the VIN number scratched off, this and that. That's how he can get around easily. They're documenting all these high-test steel line cables that are being ran from rooftops to rooftops sporadically through the city. So you're seeing little ways, like you always wonder how Batman can be here and there because it's never really mattered. But when you break it down and look at the logistics of it, they're kind of getting into that too. So that was really interesting.
Yeah, they're not touching on anything that, like, as a Batman reader, like, oh, okay, read this story before. It's truly something different. And then, I love the compassion that this therapist has. Is she's like, she didn't want to call the police, and then she's like, damn it, Bruce, and then like she's clicking it. So like I just liked those little small details where it just really, there's a lot of connection to that book, like between the two. So
his therapist, his therapist, and she's a recurring character in Batman, but this is kind of like their first coming to understanding, because they have an understanding in regular continuity. Like we know that Bruce wanted Clown Hunter to go talk to her to try to get his head right from his parents dying in X, Y, and Z. But this looks like a time era of Bruce and her coming to an understanding. And she made a deal with him that I'm not going to rat you out or anything, but you can become my legal patient.
Yeah.
You come here before you go home every morning, and let's make sure you're still in the right mind to be doing this, that you really are aware of what you're really doing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty cool. So getting that chance to see like him kind of get those psychological breakdown dialogue moments is pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree for sure. I can't wait for 2 and 3, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's, especially if it's a heavy hitter, might even throw it in the CGC.
Yeah. And they're square bounds too.
Yeah, definitely could push for a 9.9.
Yeah, it's Mattson Tomlin is the writer on it, but Andrea Sorrentino, which Lee is very familiar with, in his like the layouts and the panel work in this tell the story almost effortlessly on their own. Like they're so creative with the way that he draws images inside of images, and like you won't just have a standard black background with panels in it. You'll have like an image that the panels work their way through an image and stuff. And like when
Really fills the page.
yeah, there's a 2-page splash in there where a detective is laying out all this information that they've been building for a case, and they draw the whole page like a jigsaw puzzle, like with blood here and there, and just it was really cool.
It's like a huge bat too, I think, right?
Yeah, that one was a huge bat. And then there was one where it's just like this weird shape where you're looking out into Gotham City and Batman sitting there like just silhouetted on like a peak of a building, and it almost looked like a jock cover just as one of the pages. It was gorgeous.
I really like the scene. I know it's a little bit creepy, but when the imposter Batman is kicking the people off of the bridge, I felt like that was really well.
So yeah, that's the whole point of the book too. At least the name of the book is there is an imposter dressed up as Batman who tied up some people, put them on their hands and knees on the end of a building, and one by one walked behind him and kicked them off. And he did it in an area where he was easily recorded doing it.
Yeah. Come on, Ghost.
And see, that's also a good example of like the panel layouts. Like you have that big shot of the detectives in the room, and then the TV screen's laid over it even, you know?
Yeah.
And Jordi Belair is doing the colors on it. She seems to be pretty in tune with what the whole tone of the story is. Like it just feels like it came together very well.
I'm keen to read it.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Real quick, I know neither of y'all read this, but this was the finale of Immortal Hulk. I'm a huge Hulk fan. I've been singing
How
the
do you know I
praises
didn't read it?
because you said you didn't pick it up.
Oh, yeah, dang it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry for paying attention. But this was awesome. So we had the Hulk, like long story short, finally come to terms with the one below all. That's like been the kind of unique thread of this book is like the source of his power, why they're immortal, why there's different personalities, and why they reflect different abilities and stuff. But the one below all was revealed to be the actual like Marvel deity, the one above all, like the source of creation of the Marvel multiverse. And the Hulk is pretty much his equal opposite. If the one above all is the source of creation, the Hulk exists to destroy. And it was told in a lot more detail and depth throughout the story, and there was some smashing and bashing, but it was nuts. So by the end of it, he comes back through the door with some of his personalities intact back in Banner's body, and just kind of Bill Bixby's it, just kind of wanders off without anyone, everyone's back and safe, and he just wanders off. And in my head, I hear the music playing from the old TV show. But I had a blast with this series. I'm very nervous about where it goes from here with Donny Cates taking over and what they're going to try to do with it. But being a Hulk fan, I'm on board for better or for worse. We'll see what happens.
I respect it.
It scares me. I'm so scared moving forward. There's already pictures of Hulk wearing a onesie with a jetpack on and a Weapon X helmet on his head flying through space. I'm like, geez.
I saw Ryan Utley tweet about it.
It was
saying, I think his tweet was something like the Hulk doesn't need to wear armor, but there's a reason why he's wearing this or something. Let me try and find the tweet.
What is going on, Super Herbie? Appreciate you stopping by. Flo said, I hope they get a crazy omnibus for Immortal Hulk. Yeah, I'm not an omnibus reader myself. I prefer individual trade paperbacks. They're just easier to hold and flip through for me. I've made the joke before. I don't want to have to oil myself up, light some candles, and lay out a table and everything just to read a book.
Yeah. Here he goes. He says, Hulk doesn't need armor. He is armor. But Hulk needed this suit. You will soon see why.
Invincible level smashing to come. That's in the post as well, isn't it?
Mark, let's crack that Hulk 181.
Yeah.
You want to crack that? I've got the 180 right there that's definitely never been pressed. But I'm not cracking either of them, even though that label doesn't even match. That's an old CBCS case that I can just open like that. Don't worry, there's some big boy books I'll be sending your way. Don't worry. There's some project books. The book that I was showing Lee before we hopped on here tonight, that's going to be coming your way. It needs some TLC.
We don't want.
Justin, what do you think of the 2-day turnaround time with CBCS? Like, because of the extreme price difference, like from the CGC Express versus the CBCS 2-day turnaround, it's like a $75 price difference almost.
I think if like we, the community, can get like, because CGC is always going to kind of be like viewed a little bit, just not better, but just you want your book.
They were already established before there was any competition.
So I mean, I don't know. I just, if we can make CBCS just as popular, or just recognize them more, or just something, because I just don't see how they can. What are the turnaround days for just a modern book? Maybe like 120-ish or something like that, without fast tracking right now.
That's weekdays and non-holiday weekdays. Right. So it's like 8 to 9 months.
Right. Throughout the whole process, it's almost a year. I mean, and I know I'm exaggerating that,
especially if you use their pressing services, it is over a year right now.
Yeah, and I've heard that's just like definitely stay away from that. Like I had a Skiff and Comic Man Andy have told me about that, but I don't know. It makes it very appealing, especially for someone who, I love instant gratification. I practice delayed, but I mean, especially with comics, I think that we're definitely. I don't know. I'm definitely considering it more and more. I do have an account with CBCS, and I'm happy to send books there for people that like it that way. But it definitely makes it enticing. Indefinitely.
Personally, have you sent any to CBCS for your PC yet?
I never have. No. But I'm not a big slab person, but I'm getting into it for sure. So, because I only have maybe like 10 books that are slabbed. The other ones that are, and those were like 2 or 3 of them were purchased that way. So
that's how a lot of mine are, just purchased that way.
Yeah,
because it just takes too long. Crazy deals.
And it's a
game. I'm the same way. For me, it's just like I have the accounts and everything with them, but for me, it's just sitting down and even getting online to fill out the form to me. I'm like, I don't even want to do that. Like just the process of having to convince myself to sit down, log in, and do it. And I know that sounds petty. But I'm like, I'm about to go do something else.
You could hypothetically read like a graphic novel.
Because I'm not one of those people that have to have my book slab per se, you know what I mean? So just like I have a whole stack of books, like what is it, like honey box books, like your big boy books that just stay out separate that I just will get slabbed eventually. Like I have this book, like it's out getting slabbed right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I just cleaned that book. I think I showed you that. Yeah.
Yeah, Panda's copy.
Yeah. I'm gonna send those back to him. I got those to him. Well, I'll send them off tomorrow, but it took me 5 days. That's it.
That's not bad. How many books was it?
I want to say 7 or 8. I think 6 or 7. 6 or 7. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
No, he had some seriously great books in there too.
Mm-hmm.
So
that Canto #1 in there.
Yeah, and Stray Dogs #1.
Yeah, those are blowing up. Did you read that, Lee? The Stray Dogs series?
I got the first issue of that, and then my second, my LCS didn't get the second issue, so I just never picked it up after that. But I'm gonna get the trade because I really enjoyed the first issue of it.
So I'm gonna send the link real quick out into the chat groups. And if you guys want to hop on, and if you're a member of the channel, feel free to hop on, and we can start talking about some DC fandom stuff because there was a lot of stuff that happened yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. Can we start with the Flash?
Go for it. Take off.
I'm excited. I think we're going to see Grant Gustin.
You think so?
I mean, they did it for him in the CW, so I mean, it would totally make sense.
Yeah.
Especially that they have, like several different Flashes or whatever in different suits in the cave. So.
Real quick on that note, did you see what the second Flash was wearing? So we saw this new suit.
Yes.
The Flash. I absolutely love the texture of it, the sleek look to it, the fact that we see the Speed Force running through it like we see in a lot of the way it's drawn in modern comics.
I think we'll get that at the end, though.
No, I don't know, because we saw him like pull up to his house and go in to see his mom in that suit, but that could have been a clip from the end. We saw him standing in the Batcave off to the side. Now, I will say this, even Ezra Miller said we don't have a trailer, we don't have any real footage to show you. We have a few little clips that we can show you because it just isn't done. So the one time it showed his mask, and I think this is why they kind of reserved, we're kind of hesitant about showing too much with his helmet up. We're not seeing the finished product of his helmet at all. Because if you look, the forehead and the brow on it look pretty large, and it was pretty big. But that second flash, when it showed the shot with Ezra with long hair next to him and Laura, Supergirl, next to him, the suit that the other guy was wearing was the one that they teased on IG, where it was the bat symbol that was spray painted red with a lightning bolt on it. So he was wearing a Batman's chest plate.
That's awesome.
So I'm wondering if that's going to be like a twist, that this is actually like he runs into another him somewhere on the timeline and he's trying to get help from him, but this one's actually evil and killed Batman in his world, and like their version of Red Death or something. I don't know.
Overall, I'm excited. We
got the Flash ring. We got the ring in the trailer.
Yes, definitely. I loved all the small little, the small things like that. Because in the CW, I don't think that they show the ring enough, just in my opinion.
Granted, we had travel restrictions over the last couple of years, but got Batman 3 Jokers signed by Johns, Anderson, and Fabok. It took about 9 months before I got them back. Wow.
And
that would have been an in-house signing, I think.
And it says in their display too that you get free fast tracking in that.
Yeah.
Or something like that, or like a 3 to 6 week.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 6-week turnaround time. Yeah. But I wonder if they have to wait on the individual people to come in, if they were signing at the same time or what. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. After I saw how much they were charging for Robert Downey Jr.'s signature, I was like, I'm never doing a signature thing.
Like $700, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say 8, but it might have been 7. I can't.
Well, I like 8. 8 sounds better. But Joe, what did you think of the Flash footage from Fandom?
I like it, and I know Justin here is a huge fan of the Flash. I'm not overly particular, like a huge fan of the Flash, but I do like this Flash. I like this better than the CW show. I like the character more than I was reading a lot of the modern comic books from him, or of him. So yeah, I like this. I like this stuff, and there's a lot of stuff in it, and I want this stuff. So yeah, it's good.
It's like they've been talking about this movie forever. I'm just excited to see it. Hey.
Yeah, this was one of the ones that were the early victim of the original DC rollout plan, because back in 2015, when they first announced the upcoming DC slate, they announced Justice League. This was right around the time of Suicide Squad, but they announced Justice League, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, the Flashpoint movie, and the Batman film that was supposed to be Batfleck and Deathstroke, but it all got changed up shortly after the Justice League fiasco. So this concept for this movie has been like 6-7 years.
Do you remember the original release date for it?
I could probably go online and find it, because exactly what Fandom was, Kevin Smith did like a miniature version of it on television back in the day. It was when season 1, episode 1 of Legends of Tomorrow was about to air. They did a TV special announcing all the upcoming DC projects. They announced the Green Lantern TV show at that point, the HBO Max show now, but the Green Lantern Corps TV show before HBO Max was a thing got announced on that night that long ago. Like, that's how much that DC, with their shakeups, with the buyouts, mergers over the years, the fiasco with their film department, there's been so much stuff that has just halted what their original plan was. So,
God dang.
Yeah, but at least they're getting to it. I mean, these characters are timeless, so they're worth waiting for. And I feel like we're better off now than we would have been then, because they were really rushing the gun back then. Even if nothing would have happened to Justice League and would have rolled out perfectly, they were still rushing the gun, I think. And now with the possibility of HBO Max and what streaming services are, like we're in for a treat with Peacemaker. Like that's going to be the first true HBO Max release.
Awesome.
That's about
that's what I was most excited about from Fandom for me was Peacemaker.
That whole hugging the hawk or eagle thing.
Yeah, eagly. Yeah, Dad, get the camera. I don't want to move. Dad.
I'm almost
definitely hyped for that.
What is it, Justin?
On Titans.
Oh, they announced that they're renewing for a 4th season with Titans.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I've been impressed, especially with the actor for Deathstroke.
Yeah, I'd like to see him come back. That was a really awesome portrayal of Deathstroke. But even more than that, I want them to find a way to bring Joe, however you say his last name, Mangelo, who played him in the Justice League movie for that brief after scene credit and in the Snyder Cut. I want them to bring that tall bastard back with that movie budget and give us that Deathstroke. That's what I want to see. Because his suit, man, that was legit. And he's a big dude, you know, like he must be like 6'6".
Yeah, he's a tall dude.
I want to be that tall.
Ricky Louis says it, mark my words, 2021, the year of DC. Well, in comic books, they've already done it for 2021, and these announcements alone, they've got me hyped. But there's no way 2022 isn't going to steal the show when it comes to cinema. I mean, you have the Batman, Black Adam. I think the Flash is in the same year, but Shazam, Fury of the Gods. You have Peacemaker hitting TV show. What's the Marvel slate look like? Because you have big name characters from DC hitting screens for the first time in an era when people might be getting a little bogged down and you're getting fed C and D list characters because they don't have anything else to feed you from Marvel right now. Which they're still not bad movies, but except Venom 2, that was horrible.
Is Batman the first one we're getting out of all these movies?
Yes, it comes out in March. It's not even far away.
And then Flash, and then Black Adam.
I think Black Adam. There's one in March, and I'm sorry I don't remember the order, but there's like March, June, and then like November, December. I think is around the time. There's like the first two are spaced out, and the next ones are kind of hitting back to back. Aquaman 2's in there too. Aquaman 2 is in there. Did y'all see the updated Black Manta suit?
Yeah.
They went and got an Alex Ross painting of Black Manta and they just ripped it off the pages.
Really? That's cool. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, that's all.
It's all over Instagram.
Yeah. That's wild about Deathstroke is that they had Gareth Evans to direct, the guy who directed The Raid.
Yes.
That would have been nuts. Doctor Strange 2 comes out the same month as Batman. So I am excited for Doctor Strange 2, but self-spoiler alert, I did read the leaked movie plot for it that came out. Absolutely read it. And while I think that Doctor Strange is a fantastic character,
Don't say anything about it.
If half of the leaked movie plot is true, that movie is going to be too bogus and bonkers off the reservation to be anything that we're normally used to digesting. It's about to be complete overload because there's at least 20 or 30 never seen in MCU film appearances in that leak thing. So
I think what they were going with is that like late 60s, early 70s, Doctor Strange, where everything was just like an acid trip. That's just what you kind of got from it. Just this mind-boggling,
Yeah, and I'm not going to talk on any spoilers about what I read because I chose to read that. I'm not going to ruin that for anybody. But I will say they're attempting to make it like a key appearance movie, and you can remember how Crisis on Infinite Earths was for the CW, and I know that's a weird comparison, but when you have that much stuff in something that's intentionally multiversal, you're not spending any time or development with people. It's kind of like an Endgame where all Endgame was an actual farewell, so they're making sure that they made a 3.5 hour long movie that was only really an hour long movie. The rest of it is just going and saying goodbye to all these actors on screen and not actually telling the story. So the same thing with that, where you're just bouncing around, and it's fun. It's fun to see, but once you've seen it, there's really no previous substance to it.
Yeah.
But it's still fun to see. I'll tell you what, they kicked off Fandom in spectacular fashion because one that I'm definitely on the top of my list for excited about is Black Adam.
For sure.
That's one that's been talked about and kicked around for probably a decade. With The Rock attached to it, even with him fan casted for it, with him attached to it, and my God, we were shown Dr. Fate. We got Pierce Brosnan holding the helmet of Naboo, which I was just I lost it instantly when they showed that. We've got Atom Smasher in it. Hawkman is in it. Finally, we have Hawkman on the big screen. That's been way too long coming, as well as Cyclone. So they're pulling JSA members and strategically ones that we're not seeing in other DC properties, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to be epic. And they even gave us a little teaser from the opening scene where Black Adam gets awoken and he just grabs the dude by the throat and just full control of his powers, just dusts.
Catching the bullet was,
that was cool.
Superman, but he's sitting there holding it and looking at it like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I've never seen these before.
His
that's a good
costume looks
point.
so good too.
Yeah,
I reckon seeing him in the
he's-
costume.
Yes, the texture of it and everything. Even the hood that he had up was
Yeah.
like textured, like it wasn't woven recently. You know, like the
Old school, yeah.
yeah, it was old school, like thick
Speaking
material.
of old, I love they're going back because Hawkman and Dr. Fate, they all have their kind of origins with them back in like the olden days, if you will, the building of Egypt and everything. So obviously that's the story route they're going with this, and I'm excited about that because Hawkman in a modern movie, it's just the reincarnation and the awkwardness of it. It just doesn't play well. So I hope they don't do something where like he comes through time too and flapping around like a weirdo. I don't really want to see that.
The wings and the helmet will make it.
Yes, yeah. They didn't tease us with the helmet, but they gave us his emblem. They panned over his emblem, and they're like, okay, let's legit. Yeah. So on your point, Kate, and this is definitely the last Spider-Man movie in this era. It's meant to be the last Spider-Man movie with this era. Tom Holland's contract and the Sony contract with Disney has expired. Disney has served their purpose for Sony, and they made them billions and billions of dollars and fan hyped up an actor that is still contractually bound to Sony. So I guarantee you that after seeing credit of Venom, is you might get a tease of Venom in No Way Home, is my guess, that is part of the contract, that he can be a secret villain that pops up in it. But after that, they're both going back to Sony, where they're going to attempt to continue the success of him at Sony. And Tom Holland put out a statement over the past week where he said that they treated this movie as the finale of the trilogy, and he told the fans that anything they see of him or Spider-Man moving forward will be completely different, but hopes it'll still be just as enjoyable.
Wow.
Yeah, everyone forgets that Spider-Man is still not owned by Marvel. Still, Sony still has 100% creative rights for the movie stuff for
I don't
Spider-Man.
see him leaving the MCU altogether, though.
I don't know.
It
It depends on how much Disney's willing to pay Sony.
I just want to see Toby.
That's gonna be pretty cool.
It will be.
More than anything, I want to see Miles. In all sincerity, we already know we're getting Toby and Andrew in it, and like the whole premise is like Doctor Strange is reaching into the multiverse to get backup for Spider-Man. So obviously,
Right.
like they've got to have more than we know in this movie. So you get Toby, you get Andrew. They're standing in front of the Sinister Six. Venom shows up. They don't know what to do. They're outnumbered, outgunned. Doctor Strange says, "Let me grab you one more," and he pulls Miles out. And just everyone screams. I stand up. I throw my popcorn. We all have a good time. It'll be a blast. It needs to happen.
Just make that happen. Make my dreams come true.
Yeah, if y'all can just do that for me, that'd be cool.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, Hawkman is a long time coming now. He had an amazing time and appearance on Smallville. He was like the biggest, most ambitious character that Smallville worked with because of the wings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was always fun. DC's found its footing for sure. Dude, I think so, because if you look at all these different movies, they have their own style to them. They have their own look. They have their own tone. They weren't trying to mirror and copy each other. And that's, for me, makes for better movies. I don't want everything I go see to be a carbon copy of the last one I saw.
That not everything needs to be connected in some weird, obscure way. It just let the magic happen.
Yeah. And like just that loose connectivity is all it takes. Like in the first Shazam, the fact that Freddy collected the memorabilia of the heroes in the other movies, great. We're now grounded in the same universe, and you don't need to do nothing else. Now, have your fun making your movie, telling your story. Mm-hmm. Like everything in the other ones still mattered and count, but our story right here with Freddy and Billy right here and now isn't bigger than Freddy and Billy right here, right now. That's all that mattered. And that's the best way to go about doing it. Ben Reilly needs to show up in No Way Home. Yeah, you wouldn't even have to hire a different actor.
True.
Yeah, get it? Clone joke. Give me Cindy Moon Silk, baby. I believe that she's supposed to be getting her own TV show, right? Or appearing on a TV
About
show.
that for since 2016. They've been talking, something with Cindy Moon and Silk.
Yeah. Maybe they will, because that'd be a way to springboard it and move it into the Disney stuff, which is interesting to think that they'd be doing a Silk thing. And if they do, they're going to have to drastically change her costume for the same reason that Venom can't have, the logo on his chest and stuff. I don't know if that'll run its course too, but there's so many weird little bylaws in the agreement that they made. That's why Venom doesn't have the Venom symbol is because he's not allowed to use it while Tom Holland is in the MCU, and it's just weird, man. That whole deal is weird.
Too much business.
Mm-hmm.
What other trailer we missed?
Well, they gave the tease for Shazam: Fury of the Gods, and you have Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren as your villains.
Yeah.
As two old gods. I think they were old gods that came down. I forget the name of Helen Mirren's character. They named her, but they didn't mention Lucy Liu's name, and I forgot what it was. But I'm not overly hyped about that one. I'm sure as it gets closer and there's more stuff and the other stuff that was in between now and that come and go, I'll get more excited. But as of right now, man, Aquaman, Black Adam, The Flash, the Batman trailer, that was really the big one.
I checked out the Super Pets video trailer on your recommendation.
What'd you think?
Yeah, I'm hyped for that. That little trailer had me keen, man. I was
Yeah.
like, all right.
So for those in the chat that don't know, DC has invested in an actual CG cartoon animated movie called Super Pets for kids, but done with a proper high budget and not just like their Lego cartoon line or nothing like that. But they got one of the best comedic duos that are out there right now. They have Kevin Hart playing Ace the Bat Hound, and they have Dwayne The Rock Johnson playing Crypto the dog. So you
together.
Yeah.
it looks hilarious.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. Ready.
Yeah.
When does that one come in? That one's going to be coming out soon. I have no idea.
I didn't
I
catch
swear
it.
none of these things had release dates in the trailers.
It's like Paw Patrol on steroids.
Exactly. I know that Finn's going to love that one.
Paw Patrol, but superheroes, man.
Yeah. And just like that banter that The Rock has, like the comedic banter that he has with pretty much anybody, like even all the way back to Journey to the Mysterious Island, and him and Michael Caine were going back and forth the whole time. That was a blast. And him and Jason Statham in that corny Fast and Furious movie, it made that movie a blast to watch because the whole time they were just taking shots at each other and trying to one-up each other. And you didn't care that
he did it in Jungle Books too.
In the Jungle Book movies, he's hilarious. That second one was nuts. He was like, what was he like? The Rock was playing Danny DeVito playing a character. Like there was layers to it even.
Yeah.
He's just a lovable actor, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a
I
guy.
love that old picture of him with the in the turtleneck and the chain.
Oh,
like,
the chain in the fanny pack.
and
So what did y'all think of the Batman trailer? That was sensory overload for me.
I love
I
the
don't
car.
like the Nirvana music in it.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack was sweet too.
I like the music towards the end, but I don't like the Nirvana music in it.
That music specifically got my video potentially demonetized. That's what caused it didn't cause a strike or anything, but going into this, I didn't expect to be able to stream the whole Fandom event for one. But when it was over, I got the official email because they pulled it down for a second and put it right back up because they said like we breezed over copyrighted material during the live stream, so they just cut it to viewers, but it was still going on my end, and then they brought it right back up. But at the end, I got an official email saying that Warner Direct filed for copyright claim, and they are entitled to any monetary anything from that video if they choose to want it. So and they said it was from the Batman trailer specifically.
Maybe you can just mute it.
No, it's too late now. I've already streamed it. I'm not worried about it, to be honest with you. Like they can have it. That wasn't for money. I turned the monetization on, but I mean, it was like $7 to $30 depending on how many people go back and watch it. Like it's not a big deal.
But,
Well, guys, my book's just finished, so I'm gonna get after him.
All right, man. I appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah, definitely great to meet you, and I appreciate always being on. Thank you so much.
Not a problem at all. And for those that weren't here at the beginning, that was my channel sponsor, Justin from Justin Comics. If you need any comic books cleaned or pressed, be sure to hit him up. He can take care of all those comic book needs, starting as low as $10 per book. He's got some of the fastest turnaround times out there. He can submit to CGC and CBCS both for you. And if you use that promo code We Are Legion, when you do 2, you get that third one free.
Absolutely, yeah. And I do not start working on your books until you and I talk about what you want. So happy to work for you, definitely. Yeah. So, all
He's
right,
got the softest hands.
I do. I have the
It'll work for
softest
you.
hands. Y'all know what these hands can do, okay? Y'all be good.
Those hands make dreams come true.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. So the Batman trailer, I lost my shit when bullets started flying. I don't know. That's when I started noticing all the little art. So Matt Reeves is a phenomenal director. Like, he's the one who spearheaded the Planet of the Apes trilogy. He's big on storytelling, big on details and all that. And
The last Planet of the Apes movie really suffered without him in it. Like at the hell, it was trash, that last one.
No, I still enjoyed it, but
look, it was compared to the first two, it just wasn't on the level, you know.
I don't know. I think it was because Caesar died. No matter what, that movie was not going to be as good. That was sad.
Yeah, it started out really. We're not here talking about that, so I could talk about.
No, go ahead.
But yeah, the Batman thing, the guns in his chest, right? He leaked that like months ago that was going to be a thing, and I remember the original.
No, that was Fandom last year, actually, Joe, because at Fandom last year was when this got attacked by COVID. So they had 25% of the movie filmed, so they pieced together a teaser clip it, and that's when we saw that for the first time.
And like when I first saw it, I was like, I don't think I'm going to watch this. And then like all of a sudden this came out, and I was like, this isn't the same thing they showed. What's going on here?
No, so in the panel that they had Zoe Kravitz and they had Robert Pattinson. And that's his official name now, Robert Pattinson. And then they had Matt Reeves in a panel. And as soon as they got on there, he said, "Hey, it's good to see y'all. It's been so long since we've actually been able to talk to each other, but I've spent the last X number of months seeing y'all every day," because he's been working on the movie in post. Right. And so it's been done finally. And I know that during filming it, they had to take numerous breaks and separate because of COVID issues and delays and outbreaks. But whatever they're doing in post, they really brought it together, because those first snippets, I'll be honest, I wasn't completely mind blown, except for that when he's punching out that thug.
I'm doing my best not to get excited though, because like I'm a skeptical person by nature. I'm a bit of a cynic, so I don't want to get my hopes up and then go see it and then really trash the movie, right? Like if you go there and it's bad, I want to be like, well, I thought it'd be good, and it was right. But if I go in there with a bad attitude, I come out and they're like, I told you it was garbage, right? I'm losing my mind, right? And I feel cheated, and then I demand my money back, and then they don't give it to me, and then I burn down a movie theater. And then let's face it, we can't lose any more movie theaters.
We can't. It's not a good time for it.
Yeah.
Dude, I went into Venom like expecting nothing and with a good attitude and came out pissed.
I wasn't pissed.
I tried that. I tried that balanced expectations, and it did not work. I'm like, I just want to go have fun watching a movie. I don't get out much anymore, and I'm like, this is what I left the house for. This
I would it was talking goo that lives inside of a man, right? I just took the whole Venom thing out of it, and that made it somewhat enjoyable. Like I loved the cooking scene. I thought that was funny, and people call me stupid for that, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Like, I'm like, whatever, man.
So do you think there's any chance of us getting any Court of Owls or any Talon, or what do you think that they're holding something back?
You need to go back and watch the trailer in slow motion.
Okay, so that's what I missed. What did I miss in the trailer? What am I looking for?
On top of the building, it looks like he's about to jump down. It's got the whole face, like it was a flash, but he's there. I even slowed it down today to double check to make sure I'm not crazy. Talon is in the trailer.
Dude,
or
that's
Talon of some sort.
So we mentioned that briefly. Like, who's Pattinson going to punch in this movie? You don't punch the Penguin. Like, I don't even think Michael Keaton.
Yeah, you shouldn't hit handicapped people.
No, you can't. You can't do that. Catwoman, like you
Batman will hit whoever
when it ends with a stabbing. Like, you just got to have somebody to punch. And the Riddler, I mean, one punch and it's over
I'm
with.
excited to see the Riddler. I'm a huge Riddler fan. I love the Riddler.
Yeah, that's your favorite Batman villain, right?
Yeah, that's my favorite one out of the Rogue Gallery, if you will. Yeah.
But what do you think of this character design for him? Like with they almost went like Zodiac Killer with him. Did you notice that? Because he's got like the question mark and then the four symbols, and there's that one scene where Bruce is laid out, drawing the symbols around him and trying to figure out what they mean and stuff.
I'm just glad it's not Jim Carrey. Even back when I first Jim Carrey as the Riddler, I was like, and I was a teenager, and I was like, wow, this is garbage.
I still love that.
I do too. I can picture him throwing the little green bats in the bag into the Batmobile and going, oh, as it blows up.
So yeah, I'm glad that they're going to take a character that's kind of campy, and they're going to bring that down to a much more gritty, reality.
It doesn't have to be campy, because the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this is the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah.
Like with the symbols instead of the words, and like the way that he's got just the rain jacket on almost, and he just has like just the designs painted on him. He's just wearing like regular cargo pants and boots, and it almost looks like
you're messing it up. Like expectations are getting high. Go ahead, Lee. I'm sorry.
That black mask that we saw, was that the Riddler as well? That was on the TV. And,
I think so.
With the goggles and stuff. Remember that mask?
Yeah, it almost looks like it's made out of black duct tape. Almost, it looks. I don't know if it is or not, but I remember the first time I saw it, it almost looked like a bag or duct tape, or it was like a poorly formatted mask that just has like he's wearing goggles under it or on it.
Mm.
So that's
that
definitely
would hurt a lot, taking it off all the time.
Yeah, that would definitely peel some skin and hair. Yeah, I don't think it is duct tape for sure, but yeah. And I don't know if you remember that first teaser trailer. We saw him like duct taping the guy up to the chair and everything, and then the crime scene and Batman walking through past all the police officers and stuff. I love his suit. Like, I absolutely love the suit. It reminds me of the Sean Murphy suit that has like the collar on it, which tactical wise, like collars tend to keep people safe when they're getting shot at. I don't know if y'all remember Punisher Warzone, but Ray Stevenson, when he played Punisher, his vest, he had the tactical collar on his vest. Like, so you're not going to get shot in the neck.
Bomb suit. It was a bomb vest. It had these, yeah.
That was hands down my favorite Punisher movie. Hands down. That movie went nuts. Balls to the wall.
I like the one with Tarzan. There's a range of acting.
With Tarzan?
Yeah. The original one.
Dolph Lundgren?
Oh.
Talking about the original Tarzan, Johnny Weissmuller, or the original Punisher, Dolph Lundgren?
Well, Punisher. Wasn't Dolph Lundgren. The one after Dolph Lundgren. What was that guy's name?
Thomas Jane?
I think so. He also played Tarzan.
Oh, I didn't know he played Tarzan. I remember Casper Van Dien played Tarzan.
Yeah, Casper Van Dien played Tarzan.
Yeah. The new Tarzan was a Sarsgaard, Alexander Sarsgaard, from that newest Tarzan movie.
I didn't watch that.
He was the guy from True Blood. He played Eric in True Blood. The Tom Jane Punisher was pretty good. That was where John Travolta was the bad guy.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. The same.
Where, like, he finally like throws all the pictures at him. He's like, I made you kill I made you kill your wife. I made you kill your best friend. You hear the scream in the room. I just killed your son.
Have you seen the short film, The Dirty Laundry?
Is that a Punisher short film?
Yeah, there's like a Punisher short film with the same actor. It's called Dirty Laundry. It's really fucking good too. Sorry. But it's really
Dirty Laundry?
Yeah, you should look it up. Dirty Laundry, The Punisher. It's got that same actor from that, and it's like probably before the TV show came, it was like one of the most brutal bits of Punisher.
Huh.
That's where he's in the laundromat, isn't it? Like legit in the laundromat. Yeah, I have seen that. That's been out for a while.
Yeah, it has been out for a good while.
I miss things.
What's going on, Wheelchair Superhero 87? Definitely glad you can make it.
I'm still trying to figure out why Freaky Louie ain't in here with us. He's in the chat. I don't understand what the problem is.
Well, he's not a channel member. He's in the chat. I didn't send the link out to people.
He's not a channel member?
He's not a channel member. I don't think Freaky Louie's a channel member on anybody's channel, and that's the only reason I don't take it personally.
Well, Pocan Joe's not a member channel to anybody either.
Pocan Joe isn't, but you are with the Evil Project and Layers. And I thought that was odd that you joined with that one too, but I'm like, whatever.
So y'all want to hear something interesting about YouTube and how weird it is? So
Kinda.
I had, Pocan Joe thing going for a while, and I did the builds and projects and stuff like that on there, right? Boom. Had the music playing, bam. Started the other channel just as a dope channel for the projects, right? So monetized, right? Over at Evil Layer Builds. Record time, too, right? Happens.
Yeah, we don't need to get into that on here.
Right? It popped because for playing somebody else's videos. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So then I had to do an appeal process and tell them that Pocan Joe and Evil Air, it's the same guy. Like, they made me do a video and everything explaining it. They still denied it. So I was like, okay, so I took all the build-in projects and stuff off of Pocan Joe's comic review, right? Put it all over there. Then they hit me for music that I own. Like, I own the music in those videos and had to go through and swap out all the music and then write another letter explaining why the music, how I own the music and show my licensing and copyrights for it. And I was like, are you freaking serious? And then I get to reapply November.
That's a long time from now to be able to reapply.
30 days.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What is up, Flash 6792? Another person that I'm sure is hyped after yesterday with the Flash trailer.
Where did he go? Is he making himself a drink?
I'm not sure. But Louis, check your IG account. Let's send you a message. Let's get Louis in here if he's available. Let's see if he's here because he's a cheapskate or if he's not here because he's unavailable.
Oh, yeah. Let's find out. Let's get the truth. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that dude, it was just kind of like too much. It was overloaded. And it was awesome when we got the footage from the Batcave and you just hear the boots hitting the steel walkway and you see Michael Keaton's silhouette come in front of the camera and you start freaking out. And then they don't show his face though.
Because I'm the car.
Yeah, I was about to say. Then Barry walks up to the car, the Batmobile that's covered with a sheet, and he grabs it. Right when he pulls it, they cut it. We all know what's under there.
Yeah,
that's
how much of a dick move would it be if it's not, Michael Keaton? Or
if it's going to be the Adam West Batmobile and throw a curveball, I would still be happy with that.
There'll be bonfires everywhere.
Yeah, DC Fandom was awesome. He said, "I'm a bit of both, bros. Busy and cheap." Team Yellow Boot. So for those that didn't know, during Fandom, they did touch on stuff other than the big movies that are hitting cinemas, and they talk about literally everything that they have going on. They did not mention Why the Last Man because that actually got canceled. It got announced that it did not get renewed for a second season.
Weird.
But
Right out.
Sorry, what got canceled?
Why the Last Man?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. But good news, if you're a CW Flash TV show fan, their big announcement and literally only announcement, was that he will be wearing yellow boots next season. I'm sorry. Gold boots.
I've really been enjoying Why the Last Man, though.
I have no context. I haven't read the books, but I haven't been blown away by the show, but I haven't been mad at it. I'm like 2 episodes behind, I think, but I've thought it's been a good TV show.
The sad thing is that they can't this season where they're canceling, like, it's like all the lead up and build up stuff, like all the good stuff with Why the Next Man, like, happens after the episode you're cutting it off at. It's like,
Another announcement was the Super Sons animated movie, and they also announced a Milestone animated feature coming, as well as the Static movie, live action movie is in production. And if you watch the Fandom event on my stream, you saw where it cut out was actually during the Blue Beetle announcement. They had no official set footage or anything, but showed one concept design of Jaime in the Blue Beetle suit, which you can just Google him and pick any random picture and call it the same thing, because that's all it was. It was just a pretty picture of the Blue Beetle. So I'm definitely excited for that. Superman and Lois got renewed for a second season. We said goodbye to Supergirl, and that was weird. The DC Webtoons, they just pointed out that those exist. Blood Syndicate is coming to current comics. We've had Icon and Rocket, Hardware, and Static since Milestone's return, so they're bringing Blood Syndicate back.
Makes sense.
Doom Patrol got renewed for a 4th season, which is fantastic. That's a great show. Titans got renewed for another season. Stargirl's rocking and rolling good. Unfortunately, Batwoman got renewed for another season. Not even sure why.
Like, look at the ratings. Nobody watches that. Why is that still, like, I don't know. I don't say it.
And while we're on the question of why is that, Catwoman's getting an animated feature in an American anime style with her and Batwoman.
Yeah. and they showed we watched the preview of that, and it was.
Oh, was there a preview of it?
Yeah, there was a trailer for it, for the Catwoman animated feature coming up. I mean, it's not coming to the theaters, but it's one of the DC animated movies.
Does it look really bad, does it?
It does. Like, it looks, I don't want to say it looks bad. I mean, it just looks pointless. It's Catwoman's birthday. She's celebrating by going to steal the most expensive jewel that exists, and she's got Batwoman doing it with her, or some crap. But here's the bad thing for someone like me who buys hard copies and collects all the DC animated stuff. I'm going to buy it because the DC showcase that's included with it is a Constantine showcase. So for those that don't know, if you buy your DC animated movies, they have short films in them that either add to the existing film or it's just a standalone short film, and there's going to have a Constantine showcase in it. So I definitely want to see that.
Maybe you'll enjoy it. Who knows?
Yeah, I might. I mean, I'll watch it for sure.
Maybe you'll really enjoy the Catwoman one and hate the Constantine one.
That could happen. I doubt it. That Constantine Helen back that they did or whatever, or City of Angels or City, whatever it was, that was ridiculously good.
Right here.
Shoot that Blue Beetle, though. That's violent, Flash. That's really violent. The Wonder Woman segment was great for the 80 years. Yeah, the Wonder Woman segment, they kind of touched on what was going on more in the comic books more than anything. They're going to celebrate her 80th anniversary for 1 year.
Yeah, they spent a huge amount of time on it.
I haven't read it yet, but I got it.
Yeah, that was probably the longest segment in all of fandom when they were talking about they're going to celebrate Wonder Woman's anniversary for 1 year. The Wonder Woman 3 movie from Patty Jenkins was announced officially that it will be happening, which I'm not giving up hope on those movies or Patty Jenkins. She gave us the first Wonder Woman movie. The second one was epic bad, like epic bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be. I have not. What is that?
Did you say it was better than Venom?
It's the 80th anniversary special.
Oh, I did not pick any of those up because they didn't have a Delato cover. So for all of those anniversary specials, for the longest time, they were doing a Delato cover option on all of them. The Catwoman one, Joker, all of them.
I gotta say they did Wonder Woman dirty on the covers for these. Like they did, so many awesome covers for everyone else for the 80th anniversary, and Wonder Woman, they didn't have great covers for her.
So I think they did Green Arrow dirty and Wonder Woman dirty because they stopped doing. First off, they stopped doing Delato ones with Green Lantern, but Liam Sharp had a cover, and Liam Sharp is a phenomenal artist as well. But since then, they haven't gone and pulled like a next level cover artist for them. They've just been run of the mill people that can draw interior or exterior kind of people. But I like those fancy drawings and paintings, like for those
historically ones, like from the beginning, right?
The eras. Yeah. So Del Otto did the 1980s Flash one, and you have Barry standing on the giant tuning machine for the antimatter from the Crisis. He's just standing there with 1 foot forward, just looking out, and you just know he's seeing his life flash before his eyes before he saves the universe. That's just, that image is epic. For the Catwoman, Del Otto did the 90s all purple suit, and she's in like a fighting stance with a whip out and everything, and it's just gorgeous artwork. I'm a sucker for painted stuff. But yeah, the cartoon, I think that would be a good angle to take with it. It should have been the Catwoman from the Adam West series, like make that a time era shtick, and now you have you have a reason to watch it. Why are we just doing a heist?
If we're gonna do that, why didn't we get that Halle Berry Catwoman? That would have been better.
That would have been funny. At least you could play into the comical aspect. But real quick, speaking on the animated stuff, the Batman, what's it called? Cape whatever, the animated series that they're revisiting but twisting it. God, Bruce Timm has come back to do Batman the animated series, but it has a by name to it. It's like Caped Adventures or Cape Crusader, and they're talking about how this is like early Batman and everything, and it's going to be set in some 1940s. You can't tell the real year of it though, and it's called something in cinematic where you do something that German New War where like it's forever 1940s. There's a word for it. Yeah. It's like it's like if you watch a lot of the Batman the animated series stuff, you look like you're standing in the world of the future of tomorrow, like like what they envision the
They
future.
envisioned it, right? Yeah.
If it's 1920, what do we envision the future to look like? Which I think is just amazing. That's really cool looking era, retro steampunk. That would be cool.
And when they showed us that little snippet of the black and white thing going on, where they kind of did it more darker and the black and white, and the guys episodes like that, I thought that would be cool too.
Flo said, "Man, I got things to say about Cape Crusader." LOL. Bruce Timm gave us the Killing Joke animated movie.
Mhm.
He also gave us the animated series, and he's got his hands in most of the animated stuff, though.
The Killing Joke animated movie was pretty bad.
Yeah, that's a hard book to adapt to begin with. You know what I mean?
They just shouldn't have added that fucking. Oh, sorry. No, they shouldn't have added that Batgirl Batman.
Yeah, because now we can say he can take care of Batgirl, but not Catwoman. Like that's just
They got some Batgirl stuff coming out too. Now that you mentioned it, they launched that at Fandom as well.
Yeah, they announced the Batgirl movie that's going to be an HBO Max original movie, and that one has me nervous because they had the two directors on there, and neither one of them acted like they knew what anything to do with a comic book is. They didn't have a clue. So you had the actors who they hired to play Batgirl who were like, we saw her in a media, we're like, yeah, that's our Batgirl. And then they cut over to her, and she actually starts talking about the essence of the character of Batgirl because she clearly either was familiar with Batgirl, grew up knowing something about her, or went back and read about her, one of the three. So she started talking about Barbara Gordon and how she acts and how she hopes to bring this to it, X, Y, and Z. And the directors the whole time were like deer in headlights, had nothing to say about comic books or the essence of the character. There's like, yeah, we're going to have her, and they literally did this. We're going to have her coming in hot. She's going to be like this, and then they're going to be bang, and they say bang at the same time, like they scripted it. I'm like, oh my god, what's about to happen?
It sounds like how Tyler and I would pitch the movie.
Yeah, but a movie that y'all didn't know anything to do with. Like if y'all went to go, like if two Lees went to go pitch a sports ball movie, that's what they were for this movie. Like it had me.
It was.
I'm like, and they were like hesitant to even speak up. Even they didn't know what to say. Like she was giving them unintentional cues. Like they're the directors, and they look like both of them together might be 37 years old.
Yeah. And that's not to say young people can't do it, but dude, they can. Young people can.
I believe he's amazing, but I believe the restrictions put on him and his team is why he got Batman the Animated Series and Justice League. I was talking about Bruce Timm, yeah. Peacemaker on HBO Max. We mentioned that briefly earlier.
Can't wait for that. That's just going to be a straight up.
It's the best one for sure.
So I'm most excited to see what they're going to do with Vigilante because the actor, I forget his name, but it was a very interesting panel to have on there. You can tell they all have a blast together, hanging out together, working together. James Gunn has got to be a fantastic guy to work for and work with. But the actor who is playing Vigilante, they even said, like, you're like the calmest person in real life on this whole set. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty vanilla. He said, unfortunately for you, you're playing the most unhinged and deranged person in the whole show. And the first time we see a clip with Vigilante, like Peacemaker's talking to, I guess, the people that got like exiled from Argus due to the events of Suicide Squad, where they clocked Amanda Waller over the head and canceled the mission against her will, But they're talking outside and they go, hey, there's a guy behind a dumpster over there. And you see Vigilante in full costume in broad daylight, like dumpster's here, he's just poking his head out. And then he sees that they see him, so he just pops out, hey, you guys. And waves all weird.
Tell you what, that's going to be the funniest comic book movie of the year. You wait, I'm calling it now. That's going to be hilarious.
I'm sorry, but the Batwoman show is so bad. Yeah, that's just, I'm not sure why it exists. Like from its inception to now, it's just not necessary. 1, 2, 3, and that's how many licks it takes to get to the center of a lollipop.
Oh,
bang. Hey, Thyler.
How do you lick? Can you show me?
God.
Look at that. I don't know if you watched the one chip challenge video that I did, but I gave a good example of if you do the one chip challenge and you want to cool your mouth off, that's all you have to do. It works. It works. I tried to watch
To a new
Hawkman animated series on HBO Max, but realized I'm 41. Dude, coming from you, Louis, this is a joke, right?
You made that one chip challenge look like nothing, though, to be honest.
Yeah, it was nothing, to be honest. Again, I'm a spicy food person. I expected it to be a little bit harder, but I didn't expect it to be an issue. Because I was talking to y'all before that night even, and Tyler was like, why are you not nervous? I'm like, why would I be nervous? It's just a hot chip. I know what I'm going into.
Super Herbie brings up the selection for Adam Warlock.
Oh, I'm all in for that, to be honest with you. I love that kid. Like, I know a lot of this is the Pattinson effect.
That's what I see that guy as every time I see it. I don't know what movie that's from, but he's kind of like a
Vacation. It was National Lampoon's Vacation where he was that was We Are the Millers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, We Are the Millers. Yeah.
Jason Sudeikis, they're drug running for that guy.
Yeah.
He has to get the fake family together. Yeah.
I reckon he's a great actor. He's really good in everything I've seen him in.
I'll tell you what, like he was awkward in that, but the Maze Runner trilogy, he was great in that. He's like a serious role, and he's doing action scenes and stuff. And
I saw him in something else recently too. It was really creepy. Can't remember what it was now. He was like wearing like those like sort of old school glasses and stuff. It was.
Right.
Yeah, I can't remember now, but it was really.
I don't know if you might know this, Louis, but I watched the Aquaman show with Finn, and he loved it. I thought it was like a mixture of Ren and Stimpy and SpongeBob, because I have a huge gap in my cartoon knowledge from like way back then, and I didn't even watch SpongeBob when it came out. I was already kind of past my time, but
no, that's SpongeBob.
I couldn't really. I've seen episodes here and there, kind of thing, but I couldn't really place the animation. But it looked familiar. And then I remember for like 10 minutes, my daughter was into a show called Steven Universe, and it looked like a mixture of Steven Universe with SpongeBob.
My daughter used to try to get me to watch that with her, and I was like, God, I want to give you back.
No, SpongeBob's amazing. SpongeBob's great.
SpongeBob was fine. There's that Steven Universe thing. I was just like,
weird. Did neither of y'all watch the Aquaman animated? It's a 3-part animated event on HBO Max called Aquaman King of Atlantis. They're 40-minute long episodes for 3 episodes. Well, the first one's 40 minutes, but it was funny, but it really didn't feel like it committed to any kind of humor style, if that makes sense. It's just the awkwardness of the drawing that supposed to make the humor, I guess. I don't know what it was going for.
Ignacio's Black Mirror. The guy that's where I know him from, the Black Mirror.
It was that one, Ignacio, where he was creepy wearing the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Ignacio, he remembers everything.
I don't know about Black Mirrors or Bander, but I can tell you all about the other.
You haven't watched Black Mirror?
No, Snatch.
Bandersnatch was the show. It was a spinoff from Black Mirror.
Never heard of it.
Bandersnatch is the one. It's a really cool movie because it's like the choose your own adventure type one.
Yeah. So I agree. The Aquaman show is definitely decent. It's watchable, but I just don't really know what they're necessarily going for. I tell you what, there's a couple of song numbers in it that they're really funny. You'll just find yourself like 2 or 3 times in it, you'll catch yourself chuckling. You're like, oh yeah, that was kind of funny.
I don't know. When I watch a comedy, I want to laugh. I don't want to sit there and say, "Oh, that was funny." Like I want to laugh.
Yeah.
That's why I don't listen to most female comedians.
Well, in that case, I suggest going and watching The Closer by Dave Chappelle's finale to the Netflix run that he did. It was epic. And if you've watched all of his stuff that he's done, like he actually brought back the past couple of years of specials that he'd done all into one beautiful ending. That's why it was named The Closer. He really is like a master of his craft, whether you like, dislike, or indifferent to him. The quality of what he's doing is through the roof. And there's a lot of good comedians out there, but there's very few phenomenal comedians out there for how they actually structure and work and time they put into their stuff, how nothing that they say is on accident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's definitely a word crowd. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm. I like it. It's like, for all you people that are mad at me, to think that I'm attacking you or you feel offended, you haven't been listening. My problem's not with you. It's with white people. Haven't you been listening? That was he did end it on a heavy note, which I thought was needed. And it was weird that people decided to try to get offended and try to want to cancel them after this because they clearly didn't watch this special. If they're attempting to say that it was offensive, they want them canceled from this special. You didn't watch it because he actually addresses your concerns in the special itself.
Yeah.
We've been talking about fandom, and
we're nerding out. We're just nerding out tonight.
Yeah.
Lisa's over there looking sexy with his clean face.
I reviewed. Oh, Joe's here. Joe, you're here.
Yeah.
What did you think of the finale of Immortal Hulk? Because I know that you've been up and down on the series on an issue-by-issue basis. Some were better than others for you.
Yeah. I thought this was an epic. We don't need any more Immortal Hulk. That's how great it was. Just leave it. Go back to an Incredible Hulk thing. Let this be its thing. Don't come in and fuck it up by trying to make it space age or whatever. You did such a phenomenal job, and you left the right little bits for the reader just to kind of hold on to and think about, like this whole one down below, right? There's the speculation of it being a creating, and Hulk's job is to be a destroyer, but there's all kinds of Hulks, right? So how does that work out? Let the reader, kind of just play with this in their own head for a while because you gave them such a beautiful playground. Let them swing on the swings and let them slide down the slides.
Well, they made that pretty. That's not really subjective at that point. The one below all was just the one above all. He was literally the creator of the entirety of the Marvel universe, and he has the Hulk as a tool of destruction for himself. Which, if you kick back to issue 25, you remember that? I don't know if you'll remember issue 25 because you're not necessarily a Hulk excessive nut job like I can be, but that was that special issue they did that was oversized where it showed this inevitable future of the Hulk where he's literally going through space as a cosmic deity punching out planets, and that's when they first seeded that the leader had been a catalyst for everything that had been going on. That's when they started his arc. But
he tied it into the that was about the same time that they were doing the Silver Surfer Black thing.
Yeah.
Saw into it as well. Yeah, I remember everything I read.
Yeah, so I think that's what they kind of hinted at with the one above all when he told him like
talking about.
When the Hulk asked him why am I, and he finally says, "What do you do?" Like, I'm like, dude, just put the ball right back in Banner's court. Like, oh my God, that was slick. He's like, well, I smashed.
I thought it was the most satisfying end to a comic book I have read in a while. Like, I was it's not done, right? But you don't want to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like trying to write another chapter in the Bible, right? How would somebody do that?
That's the Mormons.
That's weird. Just let it go and let it be.
Give me a week and $50.
Plenty of people have written more of the Bible since the Bible. I mean, what is the Bible? You really got to. Everyone has their own opinion on how much of that book really exists to begin with. Protestants,
the Bible would be the easiest one to.
I'm the first one to tell you that.
Yeah, you had the shortest Bible out of all of us, Joe.
I'm sorry.
You've got the shortest Bible out of all of us.
I have the shortest one.
Yeah, aren't you Jewish?
Yeah.
So yeah, you do, because the Protestants added to it, the Catholics added to that, the Muslims added to that, the Mormons added to the Protestants. I mean, it's just
it's all insane. But at least Jewish people understand that the Torah is allegorical, not historical. Oh, I'm throwing that in my rap battle. That was beautiful. See, I come by this shit naturally. I'm gangster.
No, I perceived, like we just touched on it, but just in the simplest of terms, I perceived the message from the one above all to Hulk was the one above all is clearly the creator of everything in the Marvel universe, and he said that the Hulk's purpose was basically he's not his equal, but he's his opposite. Like, he's meant to destroy. If the one above all creates, he destroys. He's a tool of the one above all. And it kind of reminded me of Juggernaut's true purpose. Juggernaut's not a mutant, but he has the crystal of Siderax in him, and he's meant to be a world ender.
See, this is also why I said it was beautiful the way it was done, because that's a great way to look at it. There's no doubt about that. But then if you look into the lore of what we've been given with the Immortal Hulk overall, with Baby Hulk, Joe Fixit, Devil Hulk, the Red Hulk and Hulk this and Hulk that, I would like to think there was a little bit more of a encompassing of it more than anything than just saying Hulk is destroyed, because with all these different personalities of Hulk, and that's all these different Hulks are, I thought that was interesting. So I took it as the one above all is I made you, I wind the clock, you just do what you do. But there is no, the meaning of life is there's no meaning to life.
The what is it? The purpose of life is simply to find your purpose in life. It's not to actually attain it.
You exist. Congratulations. Good. What answer do you want? I thought that would be great.
It was epic enough to put the character away for a bit, but I feel they should have done that for Thor after War of the Realms. But that one piece of art from Space Hulk was great. So I definitely saw like the different personalities of Hulk have little or nothing to do with his overall purpose in the grand scheme of like the one above all being the Hulk for the purpose, the personalities, and that has to do more with the human side of him and how it comes out, like how his purpose comes out of him, like how his power comes from that source of Bruce Banner. It comes from the one above all to Banner into the Hulk. It's a pathway. And being that Banner, and you've corrected me on this before, he doesn't have one. What's the name of the multiple personality disorder that he has, or what?
Cognitive associative disorder.
Cognitive associated disorder. So when you channel that through someone like that, you're going to get different results. And all those end results, no matter how you look at it, no matter what version of the Hulk you look at, he's still a destroyer, whether it be of planets, houses, buildings, other people, personal relationships. There's nothing about Bruce Banner when he's the Hulk that hasn't destroyed something or is eventually in the process of destroying something on some level.
Yeah, that's it.
But not on this level at all. And like I even likened the ending to this, and you'll get this. What did you think of at the very end? Like when they got Samson to open the door. Samson Lebowski to open the door. They got him out. They get back to the Baxter building. They're all celebrating, and they're all like, well, I'm glad that's over with. What did you think of what Bruce did right then?
Well, he disappeared.
Just like who? He Bill Bixby'd that shit, dude.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah,
I heard the music playing when he walked off. Like he chose to get away from the ones that he loved, or he chose to go keep seeking or whatever. And I just heard that do.
I think that, and where I'm getting the conclusion for my ending, or my perspective of it, I should say, is his literal dialogue at the end of it. Like literally, he tells you, "What are you
on top of mommy roof, pet?"
What's going on, buddy?
Joe said, "Hey."
Hey, Joe.
What's up, buddy?
And I'm trying I hold nothing knocking. There were like 3 boards.
That's pretty cool.
3 goat boards that were knocking.
There's 3 ghosts knocking.
Yeah, 3 goat boards that knocking in the hallway and on top of my roof. Like 3 and 1 on top of my roof in the bathroom.
All right, guys, you heard him. Everybody has to do Finn's chores for the next month. We got us logged out. We need to go help out Finn.
Yesterday.
We got to go ghost busting, apparently. Oh, it happened yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Oh. I'm excited for the next Hulk series. It's going to explore a more grounded, tech, brutal Hulk. I think grounded is not appropriate in that sentence, but tech, brutal Hulk, they are kind of promising that. But we've already got Hulk wearing a unitard with a jetpack flying through space with a Weapon X helmet on. But Ryan Otley has promised that it's going to be invincible level, like smashing and violence. So it's Donny Cates. So he's going to go try to invent new territory for the character to explore in. Whether it works out well or not, there's really no way to determine it. I'm not necessarily the biggest Donny Cates fan. I don't hate on him. Like I enjoy crossover. I don't like what he did with Venom, taking him from like a street level awesome Spider-Man villain to a cosmic handicapped dysfunctional space daddy that's omnipresent. And he's also omnipresent. Do y'all like nothing that I just said is false? Nothing about that description is false, and that's what's crazy.
My favorite part was funny.
Well, wait a second. We never did get Lee's opinion on Immortal Hulk in 50 there, and what he
hasn't read it.
Very
I'm
strong.
I'm reading Immortal Hulk in hardcovers. I'm on the third one, so I'm waiting for the fourth one to come out. So I think 30 something issues in. So
Okay.
there's like 2 more left that'll collect the last 20 issues or so.
Cool.
But yeah, I've been enjoying it. When I get the chance to read it though, when it comes out in the hardcover.
Yeah, and for the people that don't read Immortal Hulk or don't necessarily want to go back through a 50-issue run, just digitally or whatever, read number 125 and 50. 125 and 50.
That's fair.
One, the kind of introduction to it and the concept of it.
Yeah.
25 for like what the inevitable ending of the Hulk's like full drawn out. If he were ever to just finally be left alone and do what he does, and then the explanation to it all in 50. That'd be the shortest recap.
Just read all 50 issues. 50 issues isn't that hard. Like, isn't that much, you know?
Not like Thor, right? Like old school Thor. It's like 700
There's no way you could go 125-50. There's no way. No way.
But the Gamma Flight stuff was garbage. I didn't like the leader stuff for the most part. I thought that was garbage too. You just took a scientific character and you just made him woo woo. That's all.
I appreciated that though, because they even addressed that though. Like, for one, woo woo's in comics. Like, for those that don't know, Joe, woo woo means when you don't have a real explanation for something, a grounded explanation for something, you abandon one. You just roll with it. Like, it is because it is.
Yeah.
So they determined that gamma science is not even science. It's beyond science and this, and that there's only 2 people in the world that even have an understanding of it, and that would be Bruce Banner and Leonard Sampson, who what is it? The Sasquatch. Leonard Sampson's consciousness is in Sasquatch's body, because one of the concepts that they introduced in this is like the whole immortality of the Hulk. When he dies, he goes to a very specific hell that's reserved for gamma people, because that's where they go when they die, because of the one above all has set up this place for them. And their return back to the world of the living is through a literal green door. So when coming through that green door, in and out is what's kind of been like the topic of this. Why is there a green door? Why am I able to access it? All that kind of crap. Well, that's where they got crisscrossed up. But they closed that green door like I predicted they would. So we don't have that immortality left of the Hulk currently until a writer goes back and decides to do more with it. But
who closed the door?
I guess the one above all.
Really, I didn't see that in the comic book. Everybody,
no. The leader shut it. Remember, because the leader, when he got down there, he actually, one of the first things that he did was he learned how to access and control the doors.
Right.
And the first thing he did was he turned it red. Because remember, he turned it red to begin with. Then he shut it down. That way that they couldn't get back. So the leader was the one that went full woo woo and shut down the doors. Period. Yeah, because remember, they were stuck down there.
Above and below all, whatever we want to call them now. He just.
He could have, but that's really not how he operates, is it? Like, of course he can open it. Like, the next writer can open it any way they want.
One would say that he works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, for sure. I love the way Hulk not just forgave Stearns, but everyone who had wronged him and Banner, giving them the inner peace, happiness that they have been looking for. Yeah, temporarily. For sure. I'm definitely glad they did. And I thought it was, I don't want to call it a beautiful moment, but it was definitely a heartfelt moment. And having those 2 Hulks that were present down there that weren't already destroyed or whatever, just the Red Hulk and the Savage Hulk, I thought that was kind of appropriate. But it was cool when the Savage Hulk was able to break down the wall and they thought that he couldn't. He's just mad enough to do it and just shattered.
How we highlighted Joe Fixit and kind of like what he's always been in the comic book, kind of this guy that's kind of shifty and kind of change personalities and shift around. And then we had him as a guy, a Hulk, and then a Red Hulk. Like his personality is just really kind of this guy that can just kind of shape and be what he needs to be.
Yeah.
In a situation. I thought that was great.
I like getting the backstory, like this kind of this semi-retcon backstory for the leader. Like how him and his brother were like all I could think about the whole time when it was like 1901 or whatever, and they were in a science lab, and he's handling gamma like raw, because they don't know any better. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, these guys are dumb.
Yeah.
And his brother ends up
Like-
just busting him in the head and shoving it down his throat to kill him for sleeping
Like
with his wife.
1800s, they're like, let's play with radioactive material. Catch, bro.
Yeah, this is a radioactive isotope. Look at that. Will you look at it?
And the sad thing is, that's probably not too far off with the way they handled shit back then.
Yeah, that was probably pretty accurate. But all in all, it was good. I don't want to keep. There was an oversized issue. There's a lot to talk about. This was an epic run. It really was. I'm sad to see it go. We got the cover collector up in the chat. Another channel member. What is going on, brother? Is there anything else from this week that really stood out, whether it be from Fandom, from other TV shows? Stargirl.
So the amount of, as I said, tips to the hat. I like this little tip of that. They're not dropping Easter eggs, right? They're just saying, hey, we know about comic books, and here's a little proof why, right? You're getting some memory pills. And I like it. Little gentleman ghost going on. The little cult that's about to pop off. Dr. Bones, who was Mr. Bones, a super great villain. I have his first appearance. Oh, I can't wait.
You get to show that off.
Huh?
You'll get to show that off. It's always fun to go pull out your old books and like, look, guys.
Like, hey, this was mentioned in the show, and I have the first appearance.
Don't do what like you see everyone online doing when they announce something. They're like, "Oh, this has been my favorite villain forever," and I see.
We all know
it happens all the time.
I'm a villain guy, but
As soon as the finale of Loki came out, 75% of comic book people on Instagram shared an image and said, "I'm glad they're doing my favorite villain of all time."
Well, they did the same thing with Eclipso. And remind you, Eclipso in the 90s was a garbage character. Most of his 80 runs was a garbage character. Where you get classic Eclipso is from like the 60s and early Silver Age, right?
They just used him as cannon fodder this week in Superman and the Authority. There he is right there. He was used as just a punch-out character.
Yeah.
He's not a punch-out character.
He's not. He's like creepy, right? And then like all of a sudden you got campy all of a sudden, and then everybody's like, "Oh, and they keep bringing up the same comic book, the one with the stupid plastic jewel on the cover for an eye." They bring that cover out, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that book has no significance to Eclipse whatsoever. Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah. Well, this episode was really. This episode was really good. So far for the past few episodes, we've seen that Eclipso has pretty much dismantled this team on a very personal level for his own satisfaction. The way he's doing it, he could easily go kill anybody on the show that he wants when he wants, but he's choosing not to. He's toying and playing with everyone and has fractured the team. And so the Stargirl and the team have gotten duped by the Shade to put back the Black Diamond, put it back together because it will imprison Eclipso if they do. And she tries to do it with her staff, but her staff is on the fritz from where Eclipso had grabbed it and just wonkied it out. So they needed to go find Jade. So Alan Scott's daughter was like one of the opening draws to this season. Like Jade popped up. And what's that? All-Star Squadron number 25, her first appearance with her brother Obsidian. So she popped up, and they even teased her brother Obsidian. In one of the early episodes, we see her find her father's ring in a little box, and when you open it, it has Todd written on it. Not her, but Todd. And that's her brother Obsidian. No, Todd is her brother. Like Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern, has two kids, Jade and Obsidian. So we'd already known that Todd is alive or existed in this universe. So this episode, they want to go find Jade because she has what's called the Star Heart inside of her, where the Green Lantern's powers they're manifested in her. Like she doesn't have to wield a ring or anything. She just has it naturally. But they want her ability to see if she has enough juice to put it back together. And long story short, they go to a reform school or reform hospital, it looked like, because they caught a clue that she's there. And when they get there, they find out she came looking for her brother Todd, who's no longer there. And while we're there, they leave all together, and you see Nurse Ratchet pick up the phone and say, Dr. Bones, they came looking for him. So we know that they're doing experiments on Obsidian. We know that Dr. Bones is there, and we know that season 3, if it isn't Obsidian and Dr. Bones versus the JSA, they missed a big opportunity.
Yeah. Like I said, it was so much. I counted at least 7 things that I recognized from early Silver Age comics, and I was just like, oh my God, and then I was like, how many other people are catching? Like, why are they bringing in these very obscure references? Like the cult that's obviously running, the school. Their emblem is what they wear in the comic book, and I was just like, oh my god, who else? Like, I know like guys like the comic guru, the old school guy with the comic over there at Comic Tom. I know he's like having a field day with all this, and Midwesterly, I know he is too. But like these are very obscure references. But I thank you because it's good because I'm not up to most of the '90s, right, and early 2000s. I'm out of comic books. Like that was not a thing for me. Joined the army and I'm gone, and I wasn't lugging comic books around with me everywhere. May pick up a couple from the PX every now and then when they had something super patriotic, but that was about it. And then, I retired, you get busy, and then all of a sudden I meet Spectacular Spider-Grandpa, and we start talking about it. And next thing you know, I got another 10,000 comic books upstairs in a short amount of time, right? But it's great to see it, and I'm super happy because it allows me to get caught up on new things and still kind of have my little giggle fest over here. Like, oh, I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
Where most things I'm like, when did Venom do that? Like,
me and my wife have been we watched the show together, and both of us absolutely love it. And she has these references and Easter eggs are all this, but when we watch it together, that doesn't matter. It doesn't take away from how good the show is for her. And I point out to her, like when they said Dr. Bones, and I freak out. I'm like, that's the next villain.
Same thing with
that's going to be him. So then I just grab a book. I'm like, this is him.
Yeah.
Like, and I explain who Obsidian is. I'm like, that's Jade's brother. Good, enough said, But the little things that they do in this show, like the relationship they built up between Rick and Solomon Grundy, to the point where Rick is in the jail cell, and you just see the apple start coming through the window for him. You're just like, oh my god, dude, right in the heartstrings. And we know it. Eclipso is going to kill this bastard. Solomon Grundy's not going to make it because this whole thing is he's going to die. And he's going to come back to life in the swamp, but with no recollection of this relationship. He's just back to whoever finds him next gets to program him next kind of thing, So it's going to be sad seeing him go.
So I got to jump off, but real quick, how excited are we about Eternals? Since
I kind of am. I'll be honest with you. I legit am.
Really? You're excited about it?
I try to be. And just the Celestials more than anything. I'm a Kirby nut, man. When
I saw Black Knight in it, then I found out it was the guy that was completely lost in the Thing of Thrones. So
Kit Harington,
whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah. Well, it's already 11 o'clock, so we're going to dip out of here as well. Unless you got anything else you want to hit on, Lee.
No, I haven't watched Stargirl, but maybe I should.
Oh, it's fantastic! It really is.
I love it when you're on a show just sitting over there looking sensual. That's the only way I can describe it.
That's the only way he looks is sensual. That and takeable. Watch his show if you want to know what takeable means. Lee is definitely takeable. But anyways, be sure to subscribe to Whack Comics. They passed that 1,000 subscriber mark, and they've got some exciting stuff coming down the pipe really soon. You're definitely going to want to be a part of it, or at least be sure to check it out to decide if you want to continue watching Whack Comics. It's a very unique channel, very fun, very original, and they are doing comic stuff like nobody else is doing. Be sure to check out Poke and Joe's channel. Subscribe to that guy over there. He also does all kinds of original stuff. The light show behind you is something that he made in his Evil Lair projects, which he does every single month. You never know what they'll be, from a Dr. Doom mask I have down here that was custom built to Thor's hammer to prosthetic fingers. You'll never know what this guy is up to, but it's all for the greater good of the comic community, and I appreciate you all being here. I do have an awesome video coming out tomorrow. I say awesome because I did a tiny bit of editing, and I feel there's 2 cutscenes in it, guys. 2.
Oh,
it's a comic shop tour as well as a key comic haul, and I feel like people don't open their key comics enough. So I made sure to take this like first appearance from like early 1960s and set it down and videotape, and let's actually look at their first appearance. Because people don't actually get to see what does it look like inside the book. What does their first appearance actually look like? And when you're talking 60s DC, you're going to be surprised how they roll out characters. It's definitely not with the fanfare that you see these days. But that's pretty much it for tonight. I do have to give that big thank you to all the channel members 49 channel members strong. I thank you guys so much, each and every one of you. I still am in awe every single day that all you guys choose to support the channel. I can't thank you enough. And be on the lookout. I'm going to be, hopefully this coming week, be able to announce the books that will be going into the Legion loot for this month. And I'll be excited about doing that first giveaway. So that's it for the night. Until next time, guys, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.